Hi guys. All right, let's talk a little bit about music. Guys. Got my little pinky. Um, you guys know how I feel about Billie Eilish. This is gonna go onto my YouTube channel. Hit me hard and soft. I've been soaking it in for the past week. I purchased new Bluetooth earbuds that are better quality just to listen to the album when I'm out and about. Um, I'm learning how to play Wildflower. And last year, I did a whole, well, no, not last year. I will say when Happier Than Ever came out, I was still in California. I'm working as a flight attendant now. So it was actually probably like 3 years ago that I went out to the vineyards in Rancho Cucamonga, California, where I'm from, and did a whole Happier Than Ever listening party out in the vineyards with some wine and some cupcakes and something, whatever I had, water and a crochet project. And guys, like, if you follow my YouTube channel, then you know I've done tons and tons and tons of um, like commentary on her music, Phineas's music. I will do others. I have a new video talking about Cowboy Carter, um, which yeah, I'm so speechless. I'm so speechless. I'm not gonna like play anything from the record, but I just want to talk quickly about some takeaways, right? Okay. I told you guys, I told you when we listened to Happier Than Ever, I told you that I said this coming out of like when we all fall asleep, where do we go? I said this was just the beginning. I said it's not the masterpiece. Happier Than Ever is not the masterpiece. It's a fire album. My favorite cuts are Goat Wing and Lost Cause. And I was saying, I said, this right here is just a setup coming out of the debut album of When We Fall Asleep, Where Do We All Go? Right? Guys, hit me hard and soft. Oh my God. It hits you hard and soft. It hits you hard and soft. And I can tell, and I have tons of new interviews to watch, but I have been a Billie fan since 2018. I was in music school and discovered Billie and Phineas like 70% of the way through music school. And it actually became so essential to my music education. Like, it was life changing, literally life changing. And so, what I'm saying is, I told people the first time I ever heard Ocean Eyes, I was like literally in the music library, got some headphones, sat at the computer, put it on, because I had just finished reading this article where she was on the cover of one of our music publications in the music library. And I said, well, let me go ahead and sit down and listen to this Ocean Eyes. She was like 13 years old. See, okay, yeah, TikTok. TikTok does it. That's my friend. That's my friend on Instagram. um, what did I study in music school? So, my degree is in fine arts music, vocal performance. So, I did the applied music program for vocal, for theater, jazz, classical, and then, of course, theory. And what comes along with that is like piano one, piano two, and being a part of one of the chorales. We had like three chorales that you could choose from. and I was like, I was like one of the top 5 vocalists in our program. And also, along with that, I did my my certificate in commercial music business and electronic music production. So that's through Avid Learning Schools, where they do partnerships with like colleges, universities, to go in, and you're doing 3 levels of Pro Tools, and you're learning everything about the language of MIDI, zeros and ones. I absolutely fell in love with MIDI. Like, we had to do a whole report about MIDI. And I mean, it's just, MIDI is a digital language that is just so genius. Like, it's unbelievable. Um, I'm not vegan, but you seem cool. Oh, are vegans not cool? Yeah, I would say, as far as the music, because on my music YouTube channel, I am very educated, and listen, the education is continuous. But once you learn theory, you learn a little bit of piano. I also took Guitar 1 and Guitar 2. It would be nice if you can start playing guitar young, like 9, 10 years old. I have friends who are unbelievably amazing because they started very young. I started in my 30s. So, sorry, excuse me. I have a lot of bubbles in, yeah. So, yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I picked up like a little bit of drums, like just from classmates though. Like, I do have sticks, I do have a drumming pad, like for rudimentary things. Um, I have a harmonica. I actually have my dad's harmonica still. It's amazing. As much as I travel, as many times as I've moved, like that harmonica we've had since we were kids. And we had an organ. My brother plays the organ too. And that little harmonica would just sit on the organ every day, and I still have it. I actually travel with it. Um, People try to discredit Billy a lot because all they see is like her in baggy clothes, and she's young, she's 22. Like, if anyone could remember when they were 22, just allow the girl to be 22. But we have such a similar upbringing, even though our age difference, and I really, really related to all of the things that I discovered about her, just the musical family. And if you watch interviews and everything, then she'll talks about all of that. Um, and I told people, like, the minute I heard Ocean Eyes, and she was like 13, and that voice, I said, whoa, because I know the voice. I said, I told people when they were like, oh, she just whispers, she just does this, she does that, or whatever. I said, y'all just wait. I said, year by year by year, you're going to see the growth vocally. And on Hit Me Hard and Soft, I'm listen, people, they gotta remove the book cover. And listen, there's no force to be a fan of anybody. No force to be a fan of anybody. I would say, well, I can't force anybody to like understand her or anything, but I'm trying to tell you, I'm not confused by her because she's an artist, and I 100% get her. I cannot force anyone to understand or to get her because I know how it was when I was 22, when I was coming out of high school, and our frequencies and our characters are very, very similar because that was me when I was younger. So if you understand her by the music, like when people sort of like remove like how she dressed or how many times she dyes her hair or something or whatever, and you listen to the music, listen to her voice, because she's gonna do a jazz album, she's gonna do jazz standards, I guarantee you it. And when I say that, people will be like, what, that makes no sense, like she just looks hip hop or she just looks whatever. And I'm like, no, you have to If you, like, in the beginning, when I was in music school and I discovered her, I just knew it was something. And for me, I had to study. So I went to YouTube, and this was all the way in 2018. And I was like, you know, I literally ended up watching like over 300 interviews to catch up. Like, there were people, she was kind of underground, and there were people like younger kids who were already fans already, who already knew about her. And when I discovered her Instagram, she was already at like 524,000 followers. Like, already a little over 500,000 followers already. So she had been putting in the work. So I did due diligence. And what it is like, her and her brother, they know music. Like, if someone is a vocalist and someone is a musician, and you listen to her music, even the LP, like Don't Smile at Me, is some good jazzy stuff on there. If you listen to Phineas's albums, all his old stuff, his debut album, and you're listening musically to the elements, any musician, any singer is going to be like, oh yeah, yeah. I was in LA at the Kia Forum for the album listening event. And I didn't want to hear anything. Like, in New York, they did the listening event before us. People were posting like clips and different things on Instagram and online, and I just kept everything on mute because I didn't want to spoil it. And I went to the Kia Forum. Guys, it's the I'm passionate about music. I am so passionate about music. And Billie and Phineas, they know how to create magic. And it was just like, y'all, this is the best album out right now commercially. And I mean, I'm not talking about underground artists. I mean, Willow, she's fire. What she's doing is fire. I am literally saying top. I'm going to give you my top 3 right now because I've been listening. And that's part of what I do after having my music degree and doing music history as well. I've always loved history. I've always loved music. So what ended up happening after my graduations was I was like, well, you know what? I went more heavily into commentary and more heavily into really listening to what people were doing on their albums, on their songs. And that's mainly what I went into on here on my YouTube channel, is to really break down the music, break down the lyrics, talk about like what is the message that people are really trying to convey through the lyrics, through the song, you know. And one thing for sure is that Billie is that artist that when she writes, there's always going to be a message there in some kind of way, and she really wants you to listen. Another thing that she does whenever she puts out a music video, and she's done this since the very, very, very beginning, is, you know how on YouTube, if you watch a music video and like any other music video, when at the end of it, you have these ads that come up or like another suggested video on the side that comes up. She doesn't do that. She purposely leaves about, sometimes she's left all the way up to about 15, 18 to 24 seconds of nothing, of like black screen at the end of each of her music videos to allow you time to actually process, you know, about 30 seconds to think about what it is you just watched. And she does that, has always done it, and will probably continue to do it. So I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna play anything from Hit Me Hard and Soft. I'm just gonna talk about a few things of like that really, really stood out to me that is also a part of music education. And, a lot of people always allude to relationships first when they hear songs about people falling in love and this and that or whatever. So let's just talk about the opening, Skinny. Okay. There is literally a reason why Billie names every song the way that she names the song, Skinny. The first lyrics literally start out with fell in love for the first time. With a friend, that's a good sign, right? This song, Skinny, when you listen to it, a lot of people were like, oh, this is about such and such, or this is about that person. No. Skinny is a song that is a open letter to herself. And what is happening is, like, in a few little snippets of interviews that I've seen, I know for a fact that she's been going back watching old interviews of herself, old videos, old memories, probably looking at baby photos, probably listening to old music. I guarantee you, because I mean, if you go and watch a Zayn interview, which just confirmed a lot of what I am saying and the realizations that I had come to, this is a reflective song. Because here's the thing, the lyric says, people say I look happy just because I got skinny. And what it is like, we associate being small with being healthy, or skinny with being healthy, unless you look really sickly. Or oftentimes in our society, all throughout history, especially in America, let's talk about America. If someone is like obese or they're really fat or whatever, they always go, oh, that person is unhealthy. That person is this, that person is that. They're just not healthy. They eat too much, or they're depressed or something like that. When actually a lot of people who are bigger are more than happy with their lives. And sometimes people eat when they're happy, and sometimes they don't eat when they're skinny or they lose weight, and there's an issue there. So skinny is about image and perception from outward, right? What people are perceiving as they look at you, the outward image, the physical image. And so she's basically just talking about falling in love with herself. And she says, maybe the old me is the real me, and I think she's pretty. She's talking about herself. She's going back and looking at herself when she's like 14, 15, because she always used to say in interviews, oh, when I was a teenager, when I was 14, 15, 16, I was so annoying. I was so this. And now that she's 22, she's going back and she's like, wait a minute. I like that girl that I was. She really didn't give a F. She was free. She was not really aware. And the more you become famous, the more you become popular in the eyes of the masses, or a household name, you become more cautious. And she started going inward, because the world outside doesn't always react or respond to who you believe that you are. So there's always sometimes words and things that are being said, and songs and images that are being misconstrued all the time. And people who are public figures, you can call them celebrities if you want. This happens a lot when people are in the public eye. Skinny. And then, she says, when I step off the stage, I'm a bird in a cage. I'm a dog in a dog pound. Because most artists are like introverts anyway when they come off the stage. That's almost like how they create. That's how they're inspired. They retreat. What is that? Like a bird in a cage, as you go and lock yourself up. Dog in his little dog house or dog pound. You go and you retreat. And many, many artists are like that. And then another line, because this song has bars on bars on bars. When she says, and the internet is hungry for the meat, is kind of funny, but somebody's gotta feed it. And I still cry. She says, I still cry. And you know why? Do you still cry? On the second B section, do you still cry? Do you still cry? And I mean, not only that, but on this album, I knew it. When she did the Christmas stuff for SNL, and then she performed some other things, and she sang with Lana at Coachella, I was like, this girl's voice. I said, I told people, I told them, I said, they could have criticized all they want, but she has one of the best voices in the industry. So flawless. And again, I'm not talking about every singer in every country, every world artist, every underground artist. I know they're there, but I'm speaking commercially. I'm speaking about the people that is marketed in front of our faces every day, you know. And so then they go into a string, I call it the overture, that was composed by Phineas, her brother. And as I listened, I said, it is an overture to the greatest. The greatest will win a Grammy. I'm telling you, Wildflower, I believe, will win a Grammy. I believe the whole album will be album of the year. And I believe that Chihiro, if I say right, will win for like best dance record. Lunch will probably win for best pop record. Maybe. It depends on the nominations. And also in my email, I just got the Grammy Insider News for the date for the next Grammys, when the nominations will be announced, which will be in November, and then it also has the schedule for when the artists and all these people submit works to be considered for your consideration. So, so basically, I don't want to talk about everything. I'm going to say Birds of a Feather is the cutest pop song. What I love most about Birds of the Feather is the way she's singing it. There are so many cadences on this album, like so many vocal cadences, so many runs. So, like, I don't have the words, guys. I don't even have the words of how beautiful this girl's voice is. And I would say that. And then, so the overture is the string instrument. It's a string quartet, I believe they got. And the greatest is, I guess you can say it's like, you can think of No Time to Die for the 007 movies, but this is even better. This is even better than that. The greatest. Like, so I said this, this was one of the comments that I left on Instagram, because the Kia Forum, like, I used to go to the mega church that was there, and I was like at that church for 15 years. And Billie comes from a dance background as well. Ballet, everything. She really just wanted to be a dancer. And so the greatest, oh my gosh, is a very big, triumphant song. And we were standing there, and when the climax came, the girl just started dancing and twirling. It was like praising. I mean, I had flashbacks. I felt like I was in a worship session. Like, it was so amazing. And then I'm just going to talk about Bittersweet and Blue. So she actually explains Blue on the Zayn interview, and you guys could actually just go and watch that. But I'm just going to say Bittersweet, first of all, it's spelled bitter, not SWEET, but SWITE. Why? Because in music history, we learn if anyone questions the spelling of bittersweet and you've been listening to the album, a suite of songs is something that composers would do in, those classical eras, the Renaissance eras or Baroque periods. That was like maybe a few short songs, like 4 or 5 short songs, and they called it a suite of songs. So when you listen to Bittersweet, Suite, this is why you hear these changes where you're getting just like a few measures of this kind of song, and then it slows down and it goes into this kind of song, and then it goes into this kind of song, and then Bittersweet sort of like lightly transitions into blue. And they already explained, for those who have been fans for a long time, that they combined the Born Blue and the True Blue together and just made it blue. And it 10 songs, short and sweet, 10 songs. And I'm just like, I am never disappointed by this girl. I'm never disappointed by her. No one is ever like super perfect, but I get it. And also I purchased the digital album. I purchased the digital album with the isolated vocals. So I've been listening to the vocals without the music. Guys, Billie arranged all of her vocals. She did all the vocal arrangements. And when you listen, you're like she is a genius. I'm not going to deny it. So many people can deny it, but the girl is a genius. She's a vocal genius. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say about the album, Hit Me Hard and Soft. That's like all I'm going to say. I've just been listening to it, and try not to prejudge. I'm not forcing anybody to be a fan, but I'm just saying, like, if you love music and you're open and flexible, like, people have to look past certain things. But if it's your frequency, it's your frequency. Like, I'm Gen X. I'm old school. There's a lot of people I don't listen to that's super popular that everybody loves, and I don't necessarily listen to them. When it comes to female rappers, I still love Lil' Kim, and that's period. I love Lil' Kim forever and a day, and that's it. And I'm always gonna love Lil' Kim. I'm not really listening to female rappers of today. I like the old school female rappers, period. So that's it. I'm gonna be back in a little bit to play some songs for you guys. I'm gonna take a little break, and then I'll be back so that this live is not super long, and then I can like split it up. Okay, God bless.